Kara, you have any news for us today?
Yes, I do. So, according to an eyewitness report from earlier today, actually, another dogman was spotted on a Michigan Upper Peninsula highway. Quote, it ran on all fours and had a long body that was very muscular. I could see its teeth for a second, which were that of a wolf, but the face was half human and animal. It ran so amazingly fast, faster than any animal I've ever seen. Once it was past us, it disappeared. I never took my eyes off it once. It just vanished. The creature was spotted by a 41-year-old man and his daughter. A string of mysterious lights was reported in the sky over the Horsetooth Reservoir near the city of Fort Collins, Colorado. An eyewitness reported roughly 20 lights in the sky moving slowly in a uniform straight line. This comes after several weeks of sightings of mysterious drones flying information across Colorado, emitting a low buzzing. No organization has claimed responsibility for this new sighting or for the drones, but some believe it may have been related to the launch of SpaceX's new fleet of Starlink satellites around that time. But having not seen the phenomenon, a spokesperson for SpaceX could not confirm this theory. Finally, Bruce Solheim, professor of history at Citrus College in California, said in a recent interview that he believes universities and college campuses are unusually spiritually active, being transient locations where a number of people pass through. He said that when he was interviewing for a job at Kobe Sawyer College in New Hampshire, he was put up for the night and experienced a number of loud, unexplained movements and noises, and at one point, quote, woke up to the angry face of a woman wearing an austere black outfit. The next morning, he went downstairs and saw a portrait of the woman who visited him in the night. Personally, I believe this theory. Many colleges do have haunting stories, perhaps because they're an excellent place for very young people to die before their time, or for very old people to retire permanently doing the routine work they've been doing for decades. But maybe these rumors are just because colleges also tend to have big, spooky, Gothic buildings. Back to you, Chauncey.
All right, the Dogman sighting. Dogman is one of those things that, like, I'm really into, but everything. So when you try to suspend disbelief of science, you sort of get lost. Okay, so there's a lot of woods out there for Bigfoot, and Bigfoot is on the same evolutionary chain and stuff like that, but dog people really sort of takes it to another level of, I don't know.
Well, okay, let me ask you something. How do you feel about ghosts?
I feel good about ghosts. I think it's possible, residual energies and all that. I find it possible, sure.
Well, so is it so unreasonable that maybe some of these ghosts aren't, strictly speaking, human, or at least take on a non-human appearance?
So you think they might be dog ghosts that imagine?
I think they... Like they're I don't know if they're dog ghosts, but I think based on everything I've read about these sightings, I don't think dogmen are physical. There is essentially no physical evidence that they're of their existence, but there are so many sightings, and there is, of hundreds and hundreds of sightings, one sighting of a dogman interacting with a person physically that scratched him, but there were no marks. So this most recent sighting, this creature was moving super quickly and then just vanished. That doesn't sound like a physical creature to me.
Yeah, to be fair to dogs, if I were to come back as a ghost and would be able to reimagine my own body, I don't think it'd look like this. So, my Chihuahua, when he comes back as a ghost, I can imagine that he imagines himself as a much larger, more impressive dog.
Exactly, yeah.
Qualities, because that's all he's ever known.
Not to mention, almost every medium or paranormal investigator we've talked to about ghosts, we always ask them, are there ghosts of people who were never alive? And they say, oh, absolutely. If you remember when we talked to, Shelley Godfrey?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Godfrey. Shelley Godfrey is a character from Hemlock Grove. About this, we asked her, what do you think the dogman sightings are? For our listeners, she's the authority on dogmen and wolf people in the world. And what she said was basically that she thought they were skinwalkers, you know.
Right.
Not in so many words, but that's basically what she said. You know, the Native American stories of, you know, witches essentially taking on the form of, you know, animals by going into some sort of trance and manifesting their spirit physically in the real world sort of thing.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm a fan of that too, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd like it if that was the case, because that's awesome.
You know, I think I was falling a little victim to putting it too much in Camp A or Camp B, but you're right. There's a lot of Camp A/B camp.
Camp AB, like a blood type. I would be very leery about attending a Camp AB. I'd be like, are they going to drain my blood? Is this place run by vampires? What's happening here?
I don't think you'd be that weary. I think you'd be all on board.
I would be a camp counselor,
Right.
To be honest.
So the lights from the drones, as soon as you said that it had to do with the drones, this was the story that I thought would get a lot more attention in the world.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to.
It is pretty strange, but you know, even after all the Tic Tac UFO stuff, even after the Washington Post story, mainstream outlets are pretty leery of mentioning UFO sightings in anything more than passing. You know,
Yeah, but outside of that, I mean, there's definitely a security, government, technology aspect to this that's even just outside of UFO. So I kind of thought both sides would pick it up, but maybe the UFO.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know, maybe the UFO side contaminated the privacy side, so they're not willing to touch it.
Right. So, yeah, I reported on the drone thing, I don't know, about a month ago, I think. And, like, that is pretty crazy. People are seeing these low-flying things flying in formation, which, by the way, it's hard to do with drones. You know, a usual amateur drone operator would not be able to get a bunch of drones flying in formation.
Right.
And they've been spotted all over Colorado, and no one has claimed responsibility. You know, you'd think it would be a simple matter for some company to be like, yes, we're testing this proprietary drone swarm technology. And even if they don't say that publicly, they could say that to, like, the government and be like, there's nothing to worry about, we're just testing this thing. Right. And then the government could be like, there's nothing to worry about. But instead, what you get is the government being like, we have no idea what's behind this. Everyone panic. You know, it's so mystifying as to why it's being handled in the way it's being handled, if these are indeed, like, just simple drones.
I think the government likes us to worry now. I think
maybe so.
I think they figure it keeps us distracted, not necessarily from the evil things, but even let's pretend the government is totally benevolent, and even there they would.
That's a fun thought experiment.
Distracted a little bit in order to ease us through the changes, allow us to be distracted by the things that we're used to being scared of, as the world changes into a new world, which it is quite drastically. You know, so it's like there's multiple arguments for the government to say, let them worry about the crap they're used to worrying.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on